Hi everyone, Caroline here, and today I'm going to walk you through identifying your ideal event attendee and getting to really know them so that you can make your event pages as compelling as possible so that you have maximum attendance at your events. Wouldn't that be great? I'm the Managing Director of the Social Accelerators, a digital marketing agency that helps authorities, local enterprise partnerships, and other public sector organisations to get the most out of their digital marketing. On our channel, we'll be sharing insights from our years of experience in public sector marketing, as well as details on new tools and industry trends. We aim to help you grow your online presence by providing valuable tips and knowledge that you can apply right away. If you find the information useful, please do subscribe to our channel and make sure to hit that bell icon to stay up to date with all of our new content. So, when we're looking at running events, the most important thing to think about, really, apart from your objective, is who you want to show up. So that's why we've created your ideal event attendee worksheet. Excuse me. So the first thing is, when I'm looking at events that public sector run and I look at their Eventbrite pages and their events on Facebook and LinkedIn, they aren't very compelling. And that's because they're often produced in a comms type of scenario rather than a real marketing scenario. So going forward, we want to make that change. And in doing so, we can use this worksheet. And this worksheet is free and available to everybody. You just need to go to socialaccelerators.com and go to the resources page where you'll be able to access and download the worksheet. So just to talk you through the worksheet, the first question that you need to ask yourself is, what is the purpose of your event? So let's imagine that it's business engagement. That's the purpose of your event. Or let's imagine it's a fostering event because you're looking for more potential foster parents. Or let's imagine that it's a careers event. So what is the purpose of your event? What do you need to get out of it? So if it's businesses, maybe your target is business engagement. So how many businesses do you need to engage with? If it's fostering, how many foster families would you like to find? And if it's for careers, how many people would you like to attend? And then I want you to think about who is going to benefit most from attending your event. So you'll already know that the content that you want to share at your event. So who is going to benefit most from attending that event? So if it's a business event, is that going to be micro businesses? Is it going to be SMEs? Is it going to be corporates? If it's foster families, are there particular postcodes that you want to target that might be more suitable for you? Who is going to most benefit from attending your event? If it's a skills event, then maybe it could be people that don't have digital skills, for an example. Then with regards to the location, what location will they be based in? So it may be an online event, so you may be able to go local authority wide, or it might be an in-person event, a face-to-face event, and people may need to travel. So what do you think is realistic? If it's a skills event, people are likely to travel a bit further, but if it's a business event, for example, they may not have the time to add the travel to attend. So if it's half an hour journey and then a 2 hour event and then a half an hour journey, they just may not have the time. So think sensibly about where you want them to attend, because you need to make sure that when you're running adverts about this, it's very clear. Who do you actually want to attract? So is it individuals, is it families or businesses? And what provisions might you need to make at your event on that basis? So if it's families, maybe you want to have some childcare available or some things to occupy children while their parents are listening. If it's individuals, maybe there just needs to be food or a cup of coffee. If it's businesses, maybe they need to have some sort of business advice service available. What level of education will your attendees have, or do you anticipate that your attendees will have? And how can you adapt your content and marketing to be as accessible as possible? So I don't really need to go into too much detail about that. I know that everyone in public sector is very well versed on accessibility, but it's something to keep in mind. So now we're going to move more into the marketing element. So what social media platforms will your ideal event attendee use, and list all of them that apply. And it's important to know this, as once you've created your event registration pages, you'll need to use these social media platforms to promote your event. So if it's a business event and you're looking for micro businesses, you're probably going to find most of those on Facebook and on Instagram. If they're small to medium enterprises, you're more likely to find them on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. And if it's larger or corporate businesses, then you'll definitely find them more often on LinkedIn. If you're thinking about families, then maybe Instagram is probably a great place to start. But remember, you need to think about the age of the people that you want to attend. So if there are age limitations, and again, we don't want to discriminate in any way, but we do need to think about the age of people that would be best suited to attend and what platforms they might be using. And don't discard TikTok for the older generation, because the older generation are definitely starting to use TikTok. And by older, I mean my age and above, which is 50 plus. But the difficulty with TikTok is that it's very difficult to target locally. So if it's a local event, I would be more inclined to look at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So what do you think your ideal need to put my teeth in today. What do you think your ideal event attendee will want to achieve by coming to your event? And this is the most important part, because you have your objectives, but they will have their own objectives to come along. And if you're not delivering on those objectives, then they're not going to come to any future events, and they may start to tell their friends, family, and all of their contacts that it wasn't worth your while. So think about who's going to come along and what do they want to achieve. So for example, if we're looking at a business network meeting, I often see everybody saying, come along, grab a cup of coffee and have a chat. I wouldn't be compelled to go to an event just to have a cup of coffee and a chat. So I'd be thinking about what is important to people who are going to networking meetings. Well, the most important thing to people attending networking meetings is to find new customers. So some of your marketing messages could be grow your business by connecting to local business, other local businesses, for example. If you're looking for foster families, and again, I'm just using these 3 examples. If you're thinking about foster families, what is it that they're going to want to know? What's really important to them? Because this will form part of your marketing messaging. If it's someone who doesn't have great digital skills and they're interested in growing their digital skills, then what are going to be the benefits to them attending? What is going to be their output? You know your outputs that you need. What's going to be their outputs? And then I want you to think more about your ideal event attendees. So we know what they want to achieve now, but where are they already getting their information from? And that could include books, magazines, blogs, webcasts, podcasts, newspapers, conferences, key influencers. And the reason that that's important is it helps you shape the messaging, and it also helps you relate back to some of the information that they may already be engaging with. So if, for example, it's a very local event, you could be looking at what local newspapers they use, what's the tone of language, what have you already published in those newspapers. If it's key influencers, so for example, if you were to run an apprenticeship campaign, you might want to look for a local young person who has a really good following on TikTok, because then that would be an influencer campaign, and you can create some marketing messages for them to put out for you. What objections might your ideal event attendee have to attending your event, and how can you overcome those objections? So let's go back to the business target audience again. As I've said before, travel can take time out of the day. So one of the objections might be that I just don't have the time to come, or I can't spare the travel time. So it could be that you make the event available online simultaneously as in person. It could be that they don't, if it's a fostering event, they don't have childcare provision. So think about what would happen if you wanted to encourage families to come along to learn more about fostering and they've got children. So what do you need to think about? And you need to make sure that any objections you think, what might stop your ideal attendee coming along to your event, and you need to handle that within the information that you put on your event page. And what challenges do you think your ideal event attendees have in relation to your event topic? So, for example, if it's a business network event, the challenges that they may have might be they need more customers or to save operational costs. If it's a fostering event, it could be that they want to understand the impact of fostering on their own children that already live in the house. If it's an event to improve digital skills, it could be that they're completely overwhelmed by technology. So think of all of the challenges that your ideal attendee has in relation to your event, as you'll need to cover those off during your event presentations. So that's the very first step in creating super compelling events that people will want to attend. That's the very first step in your marketing journey for your event. If you found this useful, as I said, please do subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with more videos on this subject.